Hello, my name is Harvey. Welcome to my shop. It's been a couple weeks since the last video I posted, but just a little. I went on vacation, took a 1 week cruise that ended up being a 2 week extended vacation because of this last ice storm that we got. I think I will later on. I'll post a little short video of at least the cruise, so you guys can see what I was up to. But since then, I've gotten back into the shop, and as you can see by this pile of wood right here, I've kind of got the guts to the base cabinet cut to rough dimension. I have my son help me break down the big sheets of plywood so it was more manageable. And in this video, I'm going to show, cutting everything down to the proper size and everything. When I was cutting it down, I got lost, in the process of everything. I got some pieces behind me that I'm going to cut into small little stretchers, but I kind of got lost in my drawing and everything I had. So basically, what I did was I spent a little bit of time, went through and actually made a cut list of everything with numbers, so I'm going to be following it today. I do have a couple pieces that are already cut to the proper width. I just got to cut them. I got the two pieces at the top are done. They're 24 inches by 96 inches. My base bottom and my long base pieces, they're cut to width. I've got those sitting right here, so that'll those are there because they're just too big to put on there. I've got my base bottom, I cut the length, and I'll show more about putting everything together. But today we're just going to finish getting everything cut to proper size and go from there. As you can see here, this is what I was talking about, the base. I've got them stacked right there just so they're out of the way, but there's two top pieces which will be screwed together later on for the form of the top. And then that slightly narrower piece is the base bottom. And I'll explain that a little bit more in detail. It's a little bit different way of doing cabinets, but I'm trying to build some cabinets that will take the abuse of, clamping wood in a sort of like a workbench. So that's what we're building here in all essence. It's not meant to be my permanent one because, like I said, I want to do a Rubio type of workbench at some point, but this is going to be my first one. It's going to act as a good organizer and base, and you'll see he'll have some similarities to Rob Cosman's setup in some sense, but there's a lot of different changes I'm making to it. Those narrow ones there are the long section of the base that I'm going to put down to set all the cabinets on, because I'm building without a toe kick. It's kind of like a toe kick base. And then the second half of this video will be comprised of putting the toe kick base together and attaching it to the wall. It's part of the reason why I'm building all these cabinets, because everything's always out in the middle of nowhere. Drawers equal organized shop. When I got this table saw, I got this sled. It was part of the deal, and I never checked it out. And I started cutting the wood, and I started thinking, well, maybe I need to check out and see if it's square. So I checked all my woods. The guy that built this, it doesn't look like much, but it's spot on. Right now, I'm just going to take these pieces and cut them all to width, because the width is the same. So I'll get all that cut, and then we'll start cutting everything to the proper length. I do have a design I'm going to build off of older gentleman that does busted knuckles woodworking. He actually came up with a really nice sled that I'm going to build at some point, and I'll have video to that as well. But I'm always seeing these things and coming up with them and want to do something more. So it's not a lack of ideas, it's just a matter of time. Come on. There we go. Everything is about 24 inches, 24. Yeah, everything's about 24 by 30 plus. And that was 30 and a half. So all my sizes are right. We just gotta get them cut to width. So now this old Delta Unisaw, it does have markings in here that are engraved into the table saw, but because I've got 1.5 inches worth of additional fence here, they're inaccurate. So I'm measuring everything off of the existing fence to the blade to get it accurate. $21 3/4. And the one thing is I'm just double and triple checking my measurements because I want to make sure I've got the right measurement and everything's locked in and it's right before I start cutting, because once you make a cut, you can't put this stuff back together. All right, so in that pile over there, I have basically, there's 10 pieces, 10 of which are going to be 21 inches 75. Basically 21 3/4 of an inch wide, which that's the measurement that we're measuring here. And again, I'm going to do it one more time to make sure. $21 3/4. There we go. $21 3/4. All right, so now let's double check. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. I think I got some extras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I know what it is. this one. No, that's those three there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, if those short ones are at least 30 inches, we're good. That one's 31 3/4. That little short baby still, that's 31. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that there is all the sides and the 2 end panels. So they're all going to be cut to 21 3/4 of an inch wide. That's the depth of the cabinets minus the face frame. Now, 8 of those are going to be cut exactly 30 inches in length, which is going to be the height of the box. 2 of those, which are going to act as end panels, are going to be 30 3/4 of an inch long. And that, because of the way I'm building this, that way it's long enough so it goes down and you get a nice cover that way. So it's going to get noisy in here. I'm going to cut all those to width, and then I'll talk to you again. If you notice me holding my hand up, or you see me doing the V sign, I don't have a cameraman here. I actually have a gimbal that actually has got AI tracking. So if I give it hand signals, it'll turn it on, and it'll actually track me with another hand signal. So it's very nice. It takes care of having someone film me all the time. That symbol, by the way, is the one that tells it to track me. But if I move too fast or whatever, get too much, sometimes I don't watch what I do with my hands, it'll quit tracking me. So now it's going to get loud and noisy. Just another check. There we go. All right. Here we go. Now, if you noticed, while I was cutting these sides, I was checking the sides because these only have one side that was cut with the saw, which was a nice clean edge, and I was checking for that to put up next to the fence. Now, this is the width that these cabinet boxes are going to be. So before I change that, I also need to cut out my bottoms, and everything is going to be my stretchers to width. That way everything is the same width no matter what. Even if the measurement may have been off a little bit, it'll all be the same. So that's what we're going to do next, is get everything else to the proper width. 2 inches. 2 feet. That's under 2 feet. Oh, that's right. All right. So that one. Let's make sure we have the right way. That's 2 feet. Not quite 2 feet. That's 2 feet. That's going to be a bottom. Okay, so those are my 4 bottoms. Okay, don't look like it now, but they are. Now, this measurement I just set up for now is basically I'm cutting the three of the 4 bottoms to the cabinets, and the stretchers. There'll be 18 stretchers for those 3 cabinets. They're all the same width, so I'm gonna cut that width on all those. That includes these 2 pieces and 3 of the bottoms as well. Again, a little paranoia here. I'm just making sure everything's the proper width. Okay. Now, if you noticed, I was marking the width and because we have so many parts that are approximate in size, to make sure I have the right size and they go the right way, I marked them both directions. And with that, I've got three of my 4 bottoms complete. Now, the next measure I'm going to do is 19.5. Now, my small cabinet, the one that's going to be where the vise is and all my sleds and jigs go, is going to be, the interior dimension is going to be 19.5 inches. Now I'm going to go ahead and make that measurement so I can cut both the last bottom round and it'll be complete. Then I'll also cut what I need for my stretchers as well. So I'm going to go ahead and make this measurement and get it complete. If you noticed on this saw was made in 1964. It was literally built in 1964. That's how old this saw is. It's a Delta Unisaw, actually made in the United States. It's a 110, believe it or not. But while it doesn't have like blade break or anything like that, the table's still true. It's got a fence system that locks down on both sides, much like the new Harveys do, and that's their claim to fame as being the only table saw. Well, Delta had it going on way back in the day. A lot of your newer saws have like the Beefmaster that locks down on one side, but still that end will flex a little bit, where the Delta was the first actually to have it where both sides actually lock down. And now Harvey is the only new one that I'm aware of that actually does that. But this, for the price I was going to pay for a Harvey setup, Harvey saw, I bought all my tools for the same price. So to me, it was a good deal. One thing also too, there's this micro adjustment. You have to push it in because there's grooves along the bottom here that this thing will actually catch into and actually, micro adjust. So it has a micro adjust knob. Think of it. Back in 1964, they were thinking about these things. So I'm gonna double check because I got talking. But the measurement I'm measuring for is 19.5 inches. And as always, I always check the back side of the saw just to make sure it's the same, but this one's has been staying pretty true. And as usual, I'm gonna double check. 19.5 inches. Okay, so I've got that board there, which this one is 21 inches. So I need to cut this one 19.5. So 19.5 will be this way. Now this is going to be one board that we cut. I'm going to put it over here. Now, I need, the other thing that I need is I need 4 stretchers. Every cabinet, because of the drawers I'm putting in stretchers in between each of the drawers, which you won't see them, but they give more strength to that cabinet. But in this one, there's going to be 2 less stretchers in this. So in this one, all I need is 4. So the other 3 cabinets take 18, which is 6 apiece. This cabinet only takes 4 stretchers, and we'll see this when we build these cabinets. Okay, so with that one, I have my 4 base pieces done. I also have enough wood to do all my stretchers for all 4 cabinets at that point. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make another cut on a piece. Let's see, I need 10 of those and 13.5 on those. So let's look and see what we have here. Okay, so what I need is, this one is 20. I can get 5 pieces out of that, maybe. And I have this one. Now, I need now these pieces I'm getting ready to cut for the width are actually for the rest of the toe kick assembly. And I need 10 pieces that are 13 inches long. I need 2 pieces that are 18. So this is actually, I can actually probably get Let's see. So we're looking for 10 pieces that are 13.5 inches wide. So this is over, that would mean I need something 26 inches. So I can get 13, 13, that'd be 27 inches total. I can still get a full piece there. Now this here is, this is a little over 24. So it means at 4 I can get 5. So that should give me everything I need plus 1. So let's go ahead and set this for 13. We're going to set this for 13.5 inches. Now, one bad thing about this, I notice I've got to lift up because that board's a little off when it comes past the metal table. But, okay, back it up. We're looking for 13.5 inches. Get that in there. Okay, so 13.5 inches is that right there. And it's locked down. It's good to go. And I got 13.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, that's 27. So if I go that way, and I've got one professional edge there, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so now that sucks. Five pieces. Now, I need 2 pieces. Now, in the same thing, I need 2 pieces that are 18.25. So, I can let's see if I can get 18.25. I can, so we'll do this. And then toe kick. Two pieces. Okay, that should give me all the instruments. So the last measurement I need to do is 13. Oh, buddy. No, 18.25. So, whew, thought I made a mistake. So, takes a bit to get this thing out there with that micro adjustment, but it'll give you what you need. Okay. That's it right there. 18.25. All right. Just double checking, it's 18.25. Now, one thing I'm also looking for is you get plywood from a supplier, you'll eat, like this is really good plywood, don't get me wrong, but wherever they strapped it down or they dropped or whatever, you have a bumped edge, and I'm also trying to cut that stuff out as well. So that's another thing I'm looking for. And if you look here, you can see where this was where they put a strap, and this again is what I'm trying to cut out. Now, in case you may have been wondering how I was, lining it up and cutting those last panels to width, I'm going to show you. I'm going to mark this, then I'm going to move the camera over there, and I'll show you how I line that up, and I'll make my last cut. Okay. Again, I'm looking for the best edge, which this is a cut edge. These panels are 30 inches long. So what I'm doing is I'm going to the back edge, the edge that's going to be closest to me, and then I'm marking 30 inches. Okay. And then, of course, I bring it over here, and I'm going to set it down. All right. Tell me what to figure. Okay. So, as you can see, my saw's not running, but so what I'm going to do is you can see this mark. And I move this up past where my saw blade is going to be, just like that. Okay. And this mark here is where my saw cut, so I know that's the very edge of my saw blade. So what I do is I just move that mark right up to that point right there. And get it right on the line. And then what I do is I turn my saw on. And we're going to move very slowly through the saw. And once I get to the end of it, then I pull this out, and then I pull it back. And of course, I'm pulling it real slow because my camera's sitting there. And I'm gonna turn this off because last thing I want to do is chew my camera up if this falls over. That's the end of it, and that's my last piece.